Let's continue. Be'ez Hashem, we're holding by the bracha of the Kabbalah Shofar. We said yesterday that we are now beginning the middle section of Shemonei Esrei, which primarily deals with Geula, with Mashiach, and everything that comes along with that. We have finished with the, so to speak, personal requests of asking for das and for tshuva and for shalema and everything together with that. But now we're moving on to greater things, which is all about the Rabbeinu Shalom. Chazal tell us that every day, Tikkun Chatzos is all about this, the Kabbalah Yosher brings it, Chazal bring it many, many places, that every day that the Shechina is unfortunately in Golos and there's no Beis HaMikdash, the Shechina is Kaviyachol crying every day. The Gemara brings it, Brachas Taf Hey, that we all learnt, and therefore we have to recognize that the Rabbeinu Shalom is Bitsar, whatever that means, on that, Kaviyachol, and that there's no Beis HaMikdash. And we're davening for that Beis HaMikdash to happen, for Mashiach to come, and for the Geula to happen, so we can all gather together in Eretz Yisrael for the Geula. So we begin. Tekah b'shofar, Godel l'cheireseinu, Rabbeinu Shalom, sound the shofar for our freedom. Now we start, this concept is very hard for us to imagine, it's something unbelievable. You think about it, right? Throughout the generations, for thousands of years, there were Yidden, Gedolim, unbelievable people, tzaddikim, who were desperate for Mashiach to come. Just imagine the Rashba was desperate for Mashiach, right? The Heilige Baal Shem Tov, the Chassam Sofer, the Chofetz Chaim, these people live their lives every day waiting for Mashiach. And we're going to hear the shofar. It's an unimaginable thought, but it is going to happen. And we are chayav, obligated, as the Rambam tells us in the Yud Gimel Ikrim, that we have to believe and wait for it to happen. So it's very hard for us to imagine, but it's also hard because we don't appreciate and value the need for the Geula. In other words, there's a lot of people who are pretty happy with their lives. I just did up my house. I just built my 14th bathroom. I bought my 4th car. I'm doing great. I don't need Mashiach to come right now. I'm doing great. I have plasma screens in every single bathroom. It is great. Why would I possibly need Mashiach to come at this time when I just, did renovations on my house and spent $750,000 and redoing the house? Come on, what do I need Mashiach for now? That's the problem. We're not waiting, and therefore we're kind of not ready for the shofar, and we don't appreciate the need for the Geula. Rav Schwab Zatzal writes that we don't understand the shofar Godel until it's happening. Now, we're not sure what it is. We can speculate that it will be a universal recognition of the Rabbeinu Shalom, which is something, astounding. Imagine the whole world, all the nations in the world, who realize that Klal Yisrael were the chosen nation, and the Rabbeinu Shalom is running the world, created the world, and continues to run the world. That's an amazing thing. That really is something very, very special, and just to be witnessing to that is something very, very special. Now, we say the words, Tekah b'shofar Godel l'cheireseinu, for our freedom. Cheireseinu means, first, freedom from oppression. Now, oppression doesn't necessarily mean slavery like they were doing in Mitzrayim, but it can mean physical pressures that Klal Yisrael has. We all have pressures in our lives, things that maybe prevent us and stop us from serving Hashem in the way that we should or we would like to, and therefore we're asking Hashem to take us out from that. The Chinuch explains what Shofar Godel means has a dual purpose. It says the Chinuch, it means, number one, it frightens the other nations, inspiring them to release us. And number two, it inspires us to rise to the independence of serving the Rabbeinu Shalom. The son is the Kabbas Geula Seinu, raise the banner to gather our exile. This is the second stage of the Geula of exile, where we gather all of Klal Yisrael together. The Munkat Shereb and the Darkei Chaim V'Shalom brings down that here the word Nes is literal, because there is no way to gather Klal Yisrael in a conventional way. It's not like you just get a bunch of EasyJet and Wizz Air and Spirit flights and off they go to Eretz Yisrael. It's going to be a nest. It's going to be a complete unbelievable situation through a miracle. Rav Schwab Zatzal says, we're asking the Rabbeinu Shalom to show all the nations that they should realize that Hashem is the one gathering all of us together. V'kabtzenu yachad, gather us together. As Rav Schwab Zatzal writes, not only geographically, but also spiritually. Everyone should have the same goal, biyachad. That means with achdus. Rav Miller Zatzal explains that we repeat this now because it's possible we'll split after coming together, and we beg and ask the Rabbeinu Shalom that even after we've gathered together in Eretz Yisrael, that we should be ba'achdus, we should be together. Me'arba kanfoi sa'aretz, from all four corners of the earth. We have to understand when this tefillah was made, Klal Yisrael was not as dispersed. There weren't that many people living in all random areas, right? Now, this phrase we understand a lot more because, like, literally, Klal Yisrael are all over the world. And therefore, Victor Miller says we write this because, number one, the incredible wonder of gathering Klal Yisrael from everywhere, and number two, Achdus is much more difficult when we are physically split. So therefore, the Achdus, hopefully, will be much easier and more tangible when we're together. We end the bracha, Baruch atah Hashem mekabetz nidchei Am Yisrael, who gathers together the dispersed Klal Yisrael. It's interesting, it doesn't say mekabetz Amoy Yisrael, it says mekabetz nidchei Amoy Yisrael, if you notice that. Where Rav Miller brings down that it means even the people that don't feel they're in Golus, even the people that are very happy where they are, they too will be gathered. And he goes on to explain that even those that are in the remote areas of the globe, no shaykhs to Yiddishkeit in Judaism, are going to be included in the gathering of Mitzvah Hashem. Next week we can start the next bracha, Hashiva. Be'ez Hashem.